Week 11 was when I lost the last resemblance of stability. Suddenly, there was a room that I just couldn't walk into. I had to climb into it. Hi everyone, welcome to Pomathorn Station Renovation. This week the kitchen floor comes up. It wasn't necessarily planned and I hadn't been thinking about it for too long. I had no idea what was underneath the floor, I had no idea what I was going to find, but I did know it needed to come up. I needed to sort out the plumbing, I needed to sort the incoming water main, and I also needed to make sure that all the joists weren't rotting. The last thing I wanted was to fall through the floor. If you're new around here, my name's Ian. I'm renovating an old station master's house in the south of Scotland. It's a huge renovation, which I didn't necessarily realise when I got the keys. Thank you for joining us here. This is episode 11, Discovery. Alright, let's go. So lifting the kitchen floor. It wasn't really planned. It was on my list, but at that point in time, so were dozens and dozens of other things. I really wasn't sure what I was going to find. And then I was even more apprehensive as to how do I fix, correct, or redo anything that is indeed damaged or rotting or causing a ventilation problem. The floor didn't have much of a build-up, but it did have a few mil thick plywood tile backer, and then it was the P5 moisture-resistant tongue and groove. It was pretty tedious trying to get the floor up. Because of the dampness, everything was swollen, and it was just falling apart as I tried to pry with the bar. Going through my head as I started to lift the first few patches of flooring was, how bad is this going to be? How damp and rotten is the timber going to be? How much of a crawl space am I going to have? Is there indeed going to be enough ventilation, or is it going to be really tight and cramped? The kitchen had the gas boiler in it, so all the central heating pipes ran back to the kitchen, and I knew that the incoming water pipe ran underneath the kitchen window, so I knew I would find the incoming water main. I was very excited to get the floor up. At this point in time, didn't necessarily have working running water, and if you needed the toilet you had to fill up a bucket outside with the hose and then bucket flush the toilet. So I was really excited to get the water up and running and have some form of facilities when I was down working at the house. Why now? Why did I decide to bring the floor up at this point in time? Well, obviously the list of things to do around the property at this point in time was pretty large and it was growing ever bigger by the day, but that list only really existed in my head. So my mum and her partner Gavin were around one day, and for whatever reason my mum said, "Oh, so today are we going to lift the kitchen floor? Gavin's here, he'll help you." Okay, yeah, sure, I could use a hand with that, and it does need done, so yeah, let's do it, alright. But I mean, once the floor came up, kind of lost all sense of stability around the house. Suddenly there was a room that I couldn't walk into anymore. The first thing I saw when I lifted the kitchen floor was the pipes and then the chewed up pipe lagging. I didn't necessarily have any concerns about pests and figured that this was historic. As more of the floor started to come up, you could smell the dampness. It was like standing in a garden bed to some extent. The smell of dampness and soil just lingered in the air. As the boards came up and I was able to put my feet in between the joists and stand on the ground, you could definitely feel that it was colder. As the kitchen floor came up, it wasn't particularly dusty. All the dampness was just weighing the dust down. The biggest surprise once the floor was up was how little ventilation space there was underneath the joists. In some areas there was as little as 10 centimetres, in other areas it was as much as 15 to 20. There really wasn't any space for air to move through. Combine that with decades of waste that had somehow ended up in here, I think I'd found one of the major culprits for the dampness. Once the floor was up, it was time to tackle the hearth. It wasn't the biggest job, but it did produce some amount of waste. You know, I'd spent weeks opening walls and taking down the ceilings, but somehow this felt bigger. After Gavin and I had finished for the day, he and my mum went home, and I just sat in the kitchen, just staring and thinking. Looking at the lack of space, at all the rubble and crap that had been chucked in, at how dark and cold it was, how thick and heavy that the joists were, how some of the ends were slightly rotten, how the wall plates that the joist sat on were just crumbling into dust. Most of the hearth had been smashed up and bagged up. All that was left of the hearth was a square of bricks that formed the foundation. As I sat in the kitchen just staring at the underfloor, wondering what the problems were here, wondering how I could fix them, I have to admit that the house suddenly felt older. Alright, so the kitchen chimney. The reason that the kitchen chimney kept drawing my attention is because on the outside of the building, I really just did not like how it looked. And then on the inside of the building, the chimney was basically just a big hole. And so when I was thinking and looking ahead to years in the future, I knew that just blocking this chimney up would be a mistake. It would always be a cold spot, or it would be a spot where dampness got in. If you want to insulate a room that has a fireplace and chimney, and you have no intention of using the fireplace and chimney, the best thing to do is just to remove it completely. As far as I was aware, the kitchen construction was the same as the other extension, and so it was a 50mm brick cavity. It was brick with 50mm cavity and then another layer of brick, forming a moisture barrier, preventing any moisture from outside coming inside. At this point in time, I was very much avoiding that decision, as I didn't really know what it would actually entail. I'd asked a few people for advice about what they thought, about how it would come down. Most people that I spoke to were under the impression that the kitchen chimney was structural and that it would be quite difficult to just simply rip it out. The best thing to do would probably be to hold the wall up while you take the whole thing top to bottom out, reinstate the brick wall with the cavity, and then tie it back in so it forms a completely flush wall with a cavity in between the two brick layers. I knew that this would be a massive job, and I wasn't necessarily prepared to make that decision, so I just kind of kicked the can down the road, figured I would seek more advice and make the decision at a later date. Knowing that something has to happen doesn't necessarily make it easier to do. So week 11 was when the dreams collided with reality. I found myself sitting in a damp, dark, cold, stripped out kitchen, not really knowing what I was going to do, looking at the chimney, thinking, not today, I don't know what I'm doing with that, looking at the floor and the pipes and wondering, how do I do this? Like, how do you lay a floor? Maybe I should have researched that before the floor came up. Removing the kitchen floor definitely did make the project feel bigger. Suddenly I wasn't just dealing with timber and rubble and waste, I was also dealing with pipes and water and facilities. And it wasn't so much that the work suddenly got harder or more complex when the floor came up. It definitely got a lot busier and louder in my head. With every layer of the house that I removed, it gave me more freedom. Freedom to think and plan and replace, but it also gave me more responsibility. So what happened after the kitchen floor came up? I actually needed to understand what I was looking at. Next week, we go into everything I found, including a very questionable incoming main water pipe. Was it safe? Could I drink from it? If you've enjoyed today's video, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.